Hi everyone, I'm Sona Tatiyants. I am the founder of Lynk Law and I'm an estate planning attorney. And today I wanted to talk to you on how to change your guardian nomination or how to nominate a guardian for your minor children. Being that tomorrow is January 20th, it's inauguration day, and I thought this would be a very important topic to talk about because in the last few months, I've had clients contact our office and say, Sona, I need to change who I've named as a guardian because I found out who that person has voted for president. I'm not happy with it. I want to make sure this person never raises my child. So although there is a list of things I suggest to consider when you are naming a guardian, I never thought that having a new president would be one of them. So when is a good time for you to revisit your guardian nomination? So for example, one of them would be if you've named your parents as the guardians, and then now your children are teenagers or your parents are getting older, this would be a really good time to revisit the guardian nomination and change it. Another reason would be, let's say you named your sister or your brother and they've gotten a divorce, so they have their own children. Now all of a sudden they have your children. It may be too much going on for them, so you may consider changing them, maybe switching them to second or third option. Maybe you've named your close friends or neighbors and they have moved out of state, out of town. That no longer applies to you. So there are various ways in various times in your life you may want to revisit your guardian nomination, including if your friends or whoever you want to nominate or you've nominated for a guardian has voted for a certain president. So if you don't have a guardian nomination, what are some of the things that you should look for when you're naming a guardian? Well, a guardian, think of a guardian as someone who will have physical custody of your children, someone who your children will live with. They will make medical decisions for your children. They will travel with them. In essence, this person will take care of your child if, God forbid, something was to happen to you until the child is 18 years old. So some of the things to consider when you're naming a guardian is think about where this person resides, whether it's an individual or a couple that you want to name. And also think about, do they have children of their own? Let's say you have 2 children, they have 3 children. Would that be too much for them to handle? So think about place of residence where they reside. Think about their educational, cultural background. You want to make sure that you're on the same page as to how you want your children to be raised. Some people consider the primary language that's spoken at home, their parenting philosophy, their philosophy on exercise, eating habits, lifestyle choices, smoking, current relationship with your children. So if you want to name someone who's not a parent themselves, do they have a good relationship with your child? And a lot of times, being in Los Angeles, most people are not from Los Angeles, they will name someone other than a family member as the guardian. This is specifically even more important to make sure that your choice, whoever you want to take care of your children, is specifically written on paper, because if that person's not an immediate family member, but a friend, a close friend, or a close neighbor of yours. One of the other things we can do is if you're really against a certain person being a guardian, you can always do an anti-nomination. So what that looks like is you will say, I specifically have thought about it. I want to make sure this person's excluded and should never be listed as a guardian of my child. Now, the other thing to consider is, do you want the guardian also to make financial decisions for your children or not? So a lot of times there's benefits and detriments to doing both. A lot of times people will say, well, it just makes sense that we'll have the guardian, whoever has the children will also make financial decisions for them. But they may not be actually really a good decision for you to do that, because if the trustee, whoever's handling the funds, takes off and runs off with them, there's no one there to question on behalf of your children and say, we started off with $1 million, now we have $10 left in the bank. What happened to the funds? So if you have a different guardian and a different trustee, it gives you checks and balances in your estate. One side of the family, let's say, handles the finances, another side of the family handles the children, and then there's always checks and balances. There's always someone watching out for the children, asking for an accounting, making sure that the trustee's properly spending the funds. One of the other things that I have clients ask me is, well, I want to make sure my children are raised with certain religious activities or extracurricular activities. I had a client say, I go to see the Nutcracker with my daughter every year. I want to make sure the guardian continues to do that. Well, we can certainly write that in the document, but just think about it. Who's going to be going out, knocking on the door and making sure that the child is going to see the Nutcracker every year? No one. So we could have an actual letter, which are wishes and how you would like your child to be raised. So if you want them to travel, if you want them to grow up with a certain religion, if you want them to have certain values or morals, if giving is very important to you, if volunteering is very important to you, if for your child to stay in your home is very important to you, we can specifically have a letter that is directed to the guardian that says, these are my wishes, this is how I would love my children to be raised. Please go ahead and follow that. This is not a legally binding document, but it's a way for you to make sure that your wishes are heard and hopefully carried out by the guardian. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, feel free to get in touch. You can give us a call or send us an email at the office. If there's anything else, I'd love to see more comments and see if there are anything else I can do to help you. Have a good one. Bye.